I like how I'm drinking Soylent, which is based off of Soylent Green, which was made from people, right before I'm about to play a game where I'm transported to an alien planet or something like that, and I very well am most likely a source of food. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of MugAndPlay. I am Nick, and today we're playing more of The Watchers. Now last time we got abducted by some aliens, and we got transported to this alien planet. And I'm really digging this game. I'm really digging the writing, and I want to see where it goes. So we got transported to this alien planet, and now before me, a human being of impressive size, dressed in a one-piece suit and wearing a completely transparent helmet on her head, was looking at me, friendly and smiling. "No, you are not dreaming," she spoke, answering the question in my mind. "Yes," I replied, "but it always happens this way in a dream, and in the end you find you've fallen out of bed and have a lump on your forehead." Are you speaking from experience, protagonist? She smiled. "Heh, you dumb." Further, I continued, "You are speaking to me in French, my native tongue, and yet we are in Australia. I do speak English, you know." "So do I." She spoke in English. "It has to be a dream. One of those stupid dreams, moreover. If not, though, what are you doing on my property?" "We are not on your property, but above it." "Ah, it is a nightmare. You see, I was right. I'll pinch myself." I accompanied the words with the action. Ouch! I don't know why I like that so much. I just do, okay? I genuinely, unironically like that, and I don't know why. She smiled again. "Stupid. You awake. Now are you satisfied, Michael? Yo dumbass is still awake." "But if it's not a dream, why am I here? And who are those people over there, dressed in the fashion of the last century?" I was beginning to distinguish in the milky light people talking, and at a slight distance, others moving around. "And you? Who are you? Why aren't you normal sized? Why are you all big? You from Amazon? Amazonian?" "I am a normal size, Michael. On my planet, we are all this size, but everything in good time, my dear friend. I hope you don't mind me calling you that." Oh yeah, we were told to do the don't trust path. So, let's don't trust her. Why would she think I would trust her after all that just happened? This entity is probably responsible for everything that just happened to me. How can I even be sure that this is its true form? I can't even form a sentence. Supposed to assume its true form when I can't even form a sentence? After everything I had seen in the past 20 minutes, I had to be on my guard. The thought that this entity may be responsible for my broken windows, the voices in my head, the letter I wrote as if I were a zombie. We're talking property damage, forgery, general public nuisance. What if this was the thing I saw in the barn? What if it's some sort of shape-shifting monster? The thought terrified me, but I wouldn't succumb to fear this time. I decided I would wait for the perfect moment when it let its guard down and I would get the fuck out of here. Well then, busting out the big boy language. "Yeah, call me whatever." I tried not to look at its face. Yeah, that's right. Giving you the side eye and just a low-key burp. It's just for you, untrustable alien. I think it could detect my distrust. It feigned a smile. "My name is THAO, but first I would like you to know once and for all that this is not a dream. Indeed, it is something quite different. For certain reasons which will be explained to you later, you have been chosen to undertake a journey which very few Earthlings have made, particularly in recent times. We are, you and I, at this moment, in a universe which is parallel to that of Earth. In order to admit you, as well as ourselves, we have made use of an airlock, so to speak. At this instant, time has stopped for you, and you could remain here 20 or 50 of your earthly years and then return as if you hadn't left. Your physical body would remain absolutely unchanged. I'm trapped in a parallel universe? I look around and suddenly realize there were other human beings here wearing Victorian-era clothing is because they have been trapped here for hundreds of years. No. Come to that conclusion all by yourself? I mean, it's an interesting theory to just be like, oh, alright, I'm gonna live here for a while and, you know, focus on my photography of the strange landscapes and then go back and as if nothing... I mean, if you could go back and forth anytime you want, it'd be cool, but otherwise, if it's not up to you, then probably not. I need to get out of here. Sound plan, buddy. Seeing what I was looking at, THAO continued. These creatures exist as well and can be expected, and, as you will learn later, the population density here is very low. Death only occurs by suicide or accident. Time here is suspended. There are men and women, as well as some animals, who are 30,000, 50,000, or many more Earth years old. I didn't have words to describe how fucked up this revelation was and how calmly this being spoke of it. How did they get here? Why have they been trapped here for so long? They are all here by accident. Yeah, right, I'm just supposed to believe that? For all I know, I'm next. I asked, what do you mean, accident? Afraid to hear the answer. It's very simple. You have heard of the Bermuda Triangle? I nodded. Yeah, sure. I'm aware of triangles from that area. Well, quite simply, in this spot and in others less well known, this parallel universe becomes confused with your universe so that there exists between them a natural warp. Oh, cool. People, animals, or even objects finding themselves in the immediate vicinity of a warp can be literally sucked into this. Thus, you can have, for example, an entire fleet of boats disappear in several seconds. Okay, I mean, I don't have access to a fleet of boats, but I'll keep it in mind in case I do someday. Sometimes a person or persons can pass back into your universe after several hours, several days, or several years. More often, however, they never return. Oh. Bummer. When a man does return and relates his experience, the vast majority of people don't believe him, and if he persists, he is assumed to be crazy. Most of the time, such a person says nothing about his experience at all, realizing how he will appear in the eyes of his peers. Sometimes, too, he returns amnesic, and if he recovers some memories, it is not of what happened in the parallel universe and therefore sheds no light on the subject. After seeing I was still thoroughly interested, THAO continued. Oh, I don't think that was supposed to... Anyway. Ooh, snowy. I don't like snow. There was a typical case of this passage into a parallel universe in North America, where a young man literally vanished while going to fetch water from a well which was situated several hundred meters from his house. About an hour later, family and friends set out in search of him, and there had been a fresh snowfall of about 20 centimeters. It should have been quite simple. They only had to follow the footprints left by the young man. But right in the middle of the field, the footprints stopped. There were no trees around, no rocks on which he could have jumped, nothing strange or unusual. The footprints just stopped. Some people believe that he had been taken by a spacecraft, but that could not have been, as you will see later. This poor man had quite simply been sucked into the parallel universe. Oh, that old chestnut. I have actually heard of this before, I said. I remember reading about it, that exact story, but how do you know all about it? You will find out later how I know. We were interrupted by the sudden appearance of a group of people so bizarre that again, I wondered if this was all a dream. But a dozen men, accompanied by what seemed to be a woman, emerged from behind a pile of rocks 100 meters from where we were. The sight was even stranger, since these human beings appeared to have stepped out of the pages of prehistoric records. Oh. You found some immortal cavemen? With the gait of gorillas, they brandished enormous clubs which modern man would not have been able to lift from the ground. These hideous creatures were coming straight for us, howling wild beasts. I made a move to retreat, but THAO told me that there was nothing to fear and that I should stay still. She put her hand on the buckle of her belt and turned so that she faced them. She has like a utility belt? I heard a series of small clicks and 5 of the strongest looking men fell to the ground, motionless. What, does she have a taser on her belt buckle? That'd be pretty cool, just pew pew! Fear my electric belt buckle! The rest of the group stopped cleanly and began moaning. They prostrated themselves before us. Well, they just laid face down. I'm pretty sure that's what prostrate means. It's just to, not prostate, but prostrate. It's a different word. Just laid face down, and I looked again at THAO. She stood like a statue, her face set. Her eyes were fixed on those people as though she was trying to hypnotize them. I later learned she was giving orders by telepathy to the female of the group. Suddenly, this woman got up and began, it seemed to me, to issue order in a guttural voice to the others. They then helped remove the bodies, carrying them on their backs to the pile of rocks mentioned earlier. What are they doing? I asked. They will cover their dead with stones. Did you kill them? I had to. What do you mean? Were we really in danger? Of course we were. Those are people who have been here for 10 or 15,000 years. Who knows? I mean, I feel like you would have, kind of learned stuff in that time. I don't think you would have stayed in the same mindset for all that time. But anyway, we don't have time to establish that, and besides, it is of no importance. Nevertheless, it illustrates well what I was explaining to you a few moments ago. These people passed into this universe at a certain time, and they have lived in that time ever since. Okay, I mean, do people not interact with each other in this parallel universe? What do they eat? Do they not hunger? Do they just drink a lot of Soylent? Just have a river of Soylent? I don't like what THAO was telling me. I brought my hands to my head and began rubbing my temples. Finally taking some time to calm my nerves, I looked back up at the strange scenery around me, noticing for the first time a mountain range to my left. The warm air seemed to flow in every direction around me, calming me down at least a little bit. I shouldn't have had to die. I agree. However, it is part of a natural and therefore universal law. Furthermore, they are dangerous because they behave more like wild beasts than human beings. Dialogue would not have been possible between them and us, just as it is not possible between them and most of the others living in this parallel universe. For one thing, they are unable to communicate, and for another, they less than anyone understand what has happened to them. 3. They smell. We were in real danger, and if I do say so, I have done them a favor just now of liberating them. Liberating? I try to say, hiding my disgust. This person, this alien thinks that just killing indiscriminately is liberating. It may have been protecting us, but I felt like I could have been easily become its next target if I wasn't careful. Don't look so shocked, Michael. You know quite well what I mean by that. They are liberated from their physical bodies and are now able to continue their cycle like every living being. Unable to control my emotions any further, I just said the first thing to come to mind. This place is a nightmare. How can you take part in this? Why did you bring me here? I want to see your manager. Without allowing it to respond, I continued. I didn't ask for this. You took me from my home against my will and you brought me to this hell. Who gives you the right to play God like that? Again, I wish to see your manager, please. As I said before, we brought you here because you are going to embark on a journey with us that no Earthling has done in recent times. I was hoping to have your consent in the matter, but I understand how you must be feeling given all that has happened to you today. I am sorry, Michael. I didn't know what to think. On the one hand, it may be telling the truth. On the other hand, it may not. It may need my consent, and if I decide to trust this entity now, I may regret it in the future. I was still told to don't trust, so, sorry. Still don't trust you. You have not earned my trust. You have brought me no candy. You have not told me the Wi-Fi password. You have not let me take a single dang selfie of this whole place. I'm sure I still have my phone with me. I keep it on me at all times. It's on the floor right now because it scared me earlier. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the beginning of the first episode. I tell you what. I decided as soon as this creature let its guard down, I was getting the hell out of here. I feigned acceptance of its apology and tried to continue the conversation. She's like, it's okay. I'm just feeling overwhelmed right now, I told her, surveying my surroundings carefully. Just looking around, I could run that way, I could go that way, I could swim in that lake of Soylent. Ahead of me was a long pathway down the hill with very little cover. To my right was a mountain range, and behind me, I hadn't actually looked behind me yet. Behind me was a paved pathway up the hill? I pretended like I was only casually interested when I asked, how is there a paved pathway behind us? Point up the hill. Just noticed that, behind us. Why is there suddenly like a highway? Think of this universe like a jigsaw puzzle, only instead of using pieces only from one box, it uses pieces from hundreds of thousands of boxes. This world is a combination of many different aspects of other universes and incorporates many aspects of Earth due to its location. Looking hesitant, it gave me a questioning stare that saw right through me. Why do you ask? I could very well tell her I was asking because I just wanted to find the best area to hide once I got away from her. The truth was, I wanted nothing more than to get out of here. I just had to make it think it had my trust, distract it, and create an opportunity to run. Then it hit me. I realized I had no way of making it back home and started to panic. Okay. It's like, and then I added this part of my plan. Fuck this. I remember a feeling of sadness sweep over me when I thought of my family whom I loved so much. I saw myself caught, as though in a trap, and it occurred to me that I might never see them again. No, I had to keep my composure. All I have to do is find out how it transported us here. I'm bordering on stuttering. I choke out the words. I'm just wondering how we got here in the first place. Remember when I told you we made use of an airlock? That is accomplished similar to the way you humans pressurize an airplane cabin to fly across the globe, only a great deal more complex. We use this device to input coordinates and create these temporary rifts, so to speak, for us to enter these dimensions. It again reached for its belt. My mind flashed back to that clicking noise I heard coming from the belt before, to those people who were killed. The device it removed from a clasp on his belt was a thin rectangular box, similar to the shape of a cell phone, but larger and so black it looked almost like a void in and of itself. This was it. This is how I can get out of here. Anyways, they are waiting for us. We must leave. Who's waiting for us? I said, trying to maintain the conversation, but my eyes were focused on the black box. I will introduce you in time. Follow me. It beckoned for me to follow, while reattaching the device to the clasp on its belt. Luckily for me, the clasp was located towards the back of the belt. I could grab it while it was looking ahead. Are you coming? It looked back at me with a questioning glance, just... Yeah, where are we headed? I asked inconspicuously. When she turned around again, I was going to make my move. We are headed to the mothership, as you might call it. It let its guard down and began walking. I followed. And you know what? I think that's going to be where we have to call it again for today, just because, oh man, it's getting pretty intense, yo. But thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, be sure to poke that like button right in the eye. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I want to know what happens. This is pretty cool. And if you want to see more videos like this one, including how this game turns out, you be sure to hit that subscribe button. But thanks so much. I love you all. I think you're all great, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.